Good afternoon and welcome to Fast Horses Today. Today is May the 4th, so May the 4th be with you. Happy Star Wars Day. It is also the day after the Kentucky Derby, so I hope everyone was able to jump on Sovereignty and make it a good day. So, nice day over at Churchill Downs. They definitely had some weather there, and the track was sloppy and turf was good. But I have to say, I think that they did a nice job with that track, with it being very fair, where horses were coming from everywhere. And, generally at Churchill, when they get rain like that, that rail becomes really slick and fast and horses get on there and go. But no, there was pretty evenly distributed track and, very even surface for everybody. So, again, congratulations to Sovereignty. Congratulations to Bill Mott. Congratulations to Junior Alvarado. And the whole team over at Godolphin, they did a wonderful job, in getting that horse ready to go. And thank you very much for the win. So I hope everyone got on. All right, now let's move over to today. Today is, again, May the 4th, so May the 4th be with you. I've got a couple win bets over at Santa Anita today that I'm going to make, and I want to give to everyone here. You can use these bets, in your multi-race wagers or whatever you might want to do. So I'm going to start out in the second race. Second race has approximate post time about 3:30 here Central Time, so that's 1:30 there Pacific Time in the second race. Second race is a 6.5 furlong dirt race. These are maidens, and this is one of the restricted maiden type of races where these are horses who have been sold at auction for $150,000 or less, or if you don't meet that qualifier, then you've got to put your horse in for $62,500. So, it's kind of, freezing out the Bob Baffert type horses, I guess, is really what this ends up being. So 6.5 on the dirt. It's 3-year-olds and up. Good field signed on here, 8-horse field signed on here. There is a big favorite here in this race, being the 4-horse Rank for Doug O'Neill. This horse is 6-5 with Antonio Fresu. I'm going to go against this horse. I'm making a win bet on the 2-horse, who is Concord Bridge, for Ron Ellis. And Ellis puts on the apprentice Arantes on the horse. And Ellis and Arantes have certainly combined and done some nice work, over the time since, Arantes has been, riding over there in Southern California. So the reason why this horse qualifies today, this horse was purchased for $850,000 at auction. So, generally that would mean he would not qualify for this race. But he qualifies because John Sadler had put this horse in for a $50,000 claim. They had tried this horse several times in 23, 24 and maiden special weights. The horse ran some nice races, but didn't get it done for whatever reason. Sadler and West Point Thoroughbreds, put the horse in a claiming race. So they put him in for 50, and Ron Ellis claimed the horse. Generally, I wouldn't go for a Sadler horse, off the, Sadler, putting his horse into a claiming race. But it looks like Ellis has done some nice work with this horse. This horse has had 2 subsequent starts off the claim. I thought he ran a really nice race back in late January, ended up coming came third to Santarena and Extensive. Now, Santarena was really ready to go that day. It was going to be very hard to beat Santarena that day. And Extensive came second. Extensive went on to win his next 2. So I think that was a very live race. Extensive, I think, is going to be a stakes horse. Santarena could be, we'll see. But Concord Bridge ran really nicely with those horses in coming third. Now, he followed that up with a race that I'm not exactly sure what happened. The horses got out very sluggish. I don't know what happened. Rispoli was on the horse that day. And, it was a 6-furlong sprint. Ended up running with a nice horse in Goal Oriented. Goal Oriented ran a big race that day, and Goal Oriented ran yesterday at Churchill in one of the stakes races, but I can't remember how he did. If I remember correctly, he was bet on pretty heavily yesterday. So anyway, Concord Bridge, I think, faces a lot lighter field. I think he's got 1 horse to beat, that being the favorite Rank. I'm going to go with Concord Bridge, 5-1. I think we're going to get every bit of 5-1 on that horse. So we're going to go with a win bet in the second race on the 2 Concord Bridge. All right, now we're going to move to the over several races. We're going to go to the last race of the day. Last race being the 10th race. Now the 10th race is going to have approximate post time about 7:38 here Central Time. So 5:38 there in Pacific Time Zone. 10th race is a 6-furlong turf affair. First level allowance California breds. Now these are fillies, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 1. So, first level allowance. Big field signed on here. And I've got a horse that I really like here, and I'm going to make a win bet. That being on the 7, Blevy's Tiger. Manuel Badia is the trainer. Tiago Pereira takes the call. Now, I really like this girl. She's a 4-year-old, so she's running with some, 4-year-olds, a couple 3-year-olds in there, a couple olders. She's got 8 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. And she's done most of her work, on synthetic and dirt tracks. When they put this girl on the turf, I thought she really ran well. Her first turf start was at the end of Del Mar's summer meet last year. She ran up against a tough group, in an open allowance race. I thought she ran a respectable race after having kind of a rough start and just, ran around the track. Something apparently went amiss. She hadn't run since then. They brought her out on April 4th, so about a month ago. And she ran a 6.5 furlong race down the hill, which is always nice to see those down the hill races. And I really liked the race that she came in and ran. She ended up getting beat by Lovely Idaho. Lovely Idaho was a big favorite that day, ended up taking the lead and just kind of, outlasted the field, including Blevy's Tiger. Blevy's Tiger getting beat on the wire, as I mentioned. I thought Blevy's Tiger ran a great race coming off the layoff, kind of a stalking race. Ended up getting carried out into the stretch by another horse there, which definitely is not a good thing, but really ran on nicely. And, just looks to me like this girl wants to run on the turf. She's been working out really nicely here. Manuel Badia is certainly a capable trainer. Now, he's been training up north for a long time. He brought some horses down south this year when the closure of Golden Gate there. He ran some races, had some nice horses, won a couple races, but I think that, Badia is better than what his record shows. So this horse is 3-1. Blevy's Tiger. So I think, 3-1 is very fair. I'd love to see the 3-1 on this horse. And I'm going to make a win bet in the 10th race on the 7, Blevy's Tiger. All right, now let's recap the day and recap the tickets. Okay, so let's recap the day for Sunday, May the 4th, Star Wars Day. We've got a couple win bets over at Santa Anita. First of all, I'm going to go in the second race. In the second race, we're going to bet the 2, Concord Bridge. In the 10th race, going to bet the 7, Blevy's Tiger. So, those are 2 win bets to make. So if you want to make those win bets, I'm wishing you the best of luck. If you want to use those picks in your multi-race wagers, your pick 3s, your pick 4s, early pick 5, late pick 5, I wish you the best of luck on whatever you decide to do. Let's wish the folks over at Santa Anita a very safe day of racing today on Sunday, May the 4th. So as always, I do thank you so much for watching Fast Horses today and listening to the picks. If you haven't done so, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. It's joining the audience. Doesn't cost you anything. It just joins you into the audience, every week. It also serves you up the new content when it gets created. It gets put into your feed. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much to those who have already subscribed. I really appreciate that. You can like, dislike, make comments. I promise to respond to everything. Let's have a discussion. So again, thank you so much for watching Fast Horses today for Sunday, May the 4th. And let's finish up this week strongly at Santa Anita, the Great Race Place. Thank you very much and have a great day.